Okay, hey guys, Derek here, and today I'm just going to talk about brushes and how important are they. And honestly, digital brushes in art, they are not as important as you think. I know when we look at a lot of artists out there and the textures that they get or the final look of their paintings, we always ask what brushes do you use, how did you get that, Especially when starting off, we think brushes make the painting so good, but it is not. You actually need to be good in your fundamentals and to develop your way of using the brushes. So I'm just going to quickly take you guys through some methods I used, actually one method I used to get a lot better at using brushes, and also how to go about using brushes. All right, so I'm just going to switch this to the screen. So when starting off, we get access to like a ton of different brushes for free online, right? Like as you can see on screen over here, there's just a ton of different nature brushes and so on. These are actually brushes from Wojtek link. I'll probably link that in the Gumroad if y'all do want these brushes eventually. So like, yeah, just with clicks I can create like some cloudy texture, right? That's pretty crazy. And then after that, if I want, I can always create like a rainforest with just a few brushes, right? A pine forest, and kind of boom, you get like a forest setting. But that's the thing, right? We rely too much on brushes to make the painting for us. Now this might look cool over here, right? It might look very cool, in fact, and you can feel like, oh hey, I have a forest, I added little details over here, some creature or a dragon flying or something, and you're like, hey, concept art. But then you apply your skills to another thing. Like, what if you're painting into this forest, into a scene within? You're gonna have to search for brushes that look like trees, tree barks, leaves, and compose that. And you won't even know how to compose that if your fundamentals are not strong, like how much lighting to give. And that's also a big issue where we get a lot of I'm just gonna go back to my normal brush set. So we get a lot of instances where we have like textured backgrounds, right? And then we have to add like some other element to this, right? So what if I'm like adding like a forest base or something over here? I'm just gonna quickly give you guys an example, like some base that's set up over here to look out for this forest or something of the sort, anything, right? But then when we paint it in ourselves, we really don't know how to make it match the details in the background, right? Like, or even if we photo batch things together, we don't know how much lighting to give, how detailed to make it so that it doesn't look really out of place. And that's where we all fail in the beginning. And I think that's what's important, where we have to start from the base and go up from the first steps. I'll show you guys like when I first started into digital art, some of the paintings I made and how bad they actually look. Let me just make this bigger so you guys can see it proper. Like this is a painting like I made, I think, on 19th 2015, 19th October 2015. And if we just look, okay, hold on, let me just get a brush. That's better. So if we just look at this, okay, like the amount of effort I've used just to rely on brushes alone to capture this, this kind of a smoke dragon or something, and this white Gandalf a dude is like summoning it, and even all the texture on this rock. But if you look at the fundamentals of this painting, it is so off. Like this spot is closest to camera, right? So this obviously should, I guess, be darker, but why then is this spot just as dark? Okay, like, is there no atmosphere in this area? It's just totally off. And even the trees, right, they are so detailed, you can see all the details, but when you go to the houses or even the foreground, the details are very less. And even this dragon, right, I can't, like, it looks so bad, like it's flat. Like, where is this wing even going? It's twisting up badly, or yeah, I don't know, like, where even is this? Like, here's another hill, here's a tree, but where is this dragon? So I can't tell. It's so bad. I just thought it looked cool at the time. Let's look at another one. This is another forest. I think I just literally put a picture of a forest here and painted over to make it look like a painting to match the style. But you can look over here, like these tree branches are actually going nowhere. it's just haywire all over the place. There's a lot of grainy textures to it. I mean, if this was a quick thumbnail, it works, but if this is for like a final painting and so on, I don't know. I don't think I'd be impressed. Like at the moment, this looks really bad to me. Another one, this is where I used a photo texture of like a mountain hill in the background, right? I took it some Google or something, and what I did was then I kind of tried to put a city over here, creating concept art, and this is releasing some light or beam or something at the top, and I really don't know what I was doing over here, but it's just this part over here is so high in texture that my eyes mainly go there to look at it, and I'm like, wow, look at those mountains. And then the city is just a bit haywire, but that's okay. But these foreground elements, okay, these dudes standing here, which should be very important, they have like zero details on them. They're just totally flat, and they shouldn't even be in a silhouette because the foreground is already in a silhouette, right? And even if you look at this foreground, these rocks are basically just copying each other. This is too smooth, too parallel to each other. There's no irregularity or anything. Like, are there no smaller pebbles or anything of the sort? There's just no idea, no thought into how it would actually be. I just focused on using the photo texture, and I was like, hey, okay, yeah, you know, that works. I'm just going to speed this up because we don't have too much time. I gotta get back to work. Here's another painting. I just literally relied on tree brushes and leaf brushes and spark brushes for fire, and then I quickly painted in this flat dude. But this is literally not how hair works, you know, like there's no texture to the hair, but there's so much texture to the fire round. In these marshmallows, like this is, ugh, it's so bad. There's no texture to this dude. It's like, where are the creases in his hat? Where are the creases in his clothes? Is this not light? Like, even the lighting is just lighting him not properly at all. So anyway, that being said, how do you get better at your fundamentals? Okay, I say in order to understand or get better at brushes, stick to give yourself a challenge. Use one brush. Okay, whether it's a normal round brush or even the chalk brush. If you come from a watercolor starting, maybe use the chalk brush with low opacity so it sort of replicates that, whatever you're comfortable with. Use one brush for your entire painting, and let's see how that goes. Like, my brush of choice would be like this rectangular brush. It is the same as the soft brush, but I like this especially because it's easier for me to make buildings and hard edges around it, and it gives me a more interesting texture as opposed to a round brush. So anyway, like a painting I made entirely with one brush, I'll give you all an example, is this. So this painting was made entirely with the square brush, and I'll also take you all through the process really quickly. And it's just a challenge to you guys to get used to or try making a painting entirely with one brush, or maybe two brushes at max if you want to use a different brush for a sky and then paint it. But I suggest one brush, and see what you can do with that. So then you get that understanding, that base to use. Okay, like imagine being able to paint entire grass field with just one round brush, right? Then you'll know exactly how to use grass brushes and fill that up much faster. Remember, don't base your art around the brush. Use the brush to enhance and speed up your art process once you know what you're doing. So that's the main thing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm quickly going to let this time-lapse play. You guys can see it, and then let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And also, thank you guys for tuning in. This is just a quick tip from my end to you all. I hope it helps. This is what helped me a lot, and this is also why I go back to using one brush at a time mainly. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and catch you on the next one.